Hi, I'm Mark Rucker. I was first debuted here at this great opera company in 1988. That makes me sound really old, but okay. I am now on the faculty of the voice department at MSU as a voice teacher. I've done major roles here. I've actually done Rigoletto 3 times here, so I think I got it right about the last time I did it. I've done Scarpia here twice. I've done Sanson Dalila. I did Pagliacci. I did, and many productions here. I've had a wonderful time doing that here. Now, there are certain operas that I wouldn't suggest a new person go to for the first time. Rigoletto is not like that. Rigoletto is a great opera, especially for fathers. And I'll tell you why. Because fathers can appreciate what Rigoletto has to go through. Just imagine you have a 15-year-old daughter, and the doorbell rings, and then you walk up to the door, you open it up, and it's a Hell's Angel. Now, not saying that all the Hell's Angels are bad, but just in general, the father might break out a shotgun, right? Rigoletto doesn't have a shotgun. Rigoletto has a tongue, and he uses it very well. So for all those ladies who have husbands who don't want to come to the opera, bring him to Rigoletto, because you will not be sorry. All the girls may be sorry that they came. I had a teacher in high school named Lena McGlynn who walked up to me one day and said, "You're going to be an opera singer." And I said, "Leave me alone, you crazy lady." And she proceeded to fail me in my music class. So the deal was, you sign up for chorus, I give you a better grade, you play football. I thought, this is not something that should be able to be allowed. So she had power. I didn't have any. So I said, okay, fine, I'll join chorus. I did. She said, sing. And I refused to sing. An hour later, we were still there. She said, sing. I sang. They laughed. I left. When I made my debut at the Met in 2004, she was in the front row. I will never forget her. I do remember I was doing Rigoletto, and the young lady that was singing the Gilda, but her mother was dying. Very close to that, and she would go back every weekend to see her and come back. And I was trying to figure out, how do you do that? How do you make yourself do that? And I remember having to stay in the act because she's dying in my arms, and I couldn't help her. She's starting to cry, and I couldn't help myself. And I was like, okay, I got to stay in this. I got to stay in this. I got to get through this. As an actor, you need to be able to do that. There are just certain times that you have that problem. And I remember at the end of it, us both just crumbling, you know. And then I said, you know what? We have to bow. Get up. So we got up, because I had to try to find anything I could to lighten that load. But I remember to myself thinking, this is what Rigoletto was going through. This is the pain that he was going through. You know, until you've experienced something, it's hard to relate to that kind of pain. You know, it's hard to relate to that kind of feeling. But we all, as actors and singers, tend to go through something. I remember gaining so much strength from her that it led me to another place in the character that I use even to today. Referring to a story that Jim Mina and I actually were involved in, when I was in rehearsals there, I found out my father had passed. And so we had to go. And I said, you know, listen, if you guys need to hire somebody else, I have no idea what's going to happen, you know. And they said, well, let's just see what happens when you get there, and let's not worry about that. I went home, we had the funeral, and I came back. This was doing La Traviata. And I remember coming back, I was so grateful to James for his treatment of me and his faith that I could come back and do it. And I was fine until we got to the death scene. And then I sat there going, okay, got to calm down. Still have to get through the rest of this. And Traviata is enormously emotional. But again, I used the same thing that I used when I did the Rigoletto here. And I said, okay, I've got to stay in this character. This character's father didn't pass. This character has a son who's about to lose the love of his life. You know, I've got to stay in that character. So I did, and it got me through it. So I'm still working that way. I tell my students the same thing. You've got to use what you've got and work through it. You know, somebody will come in for a lesson and say, oh, I had a bad thing with my girlfriend. And I'll say, I don't care. Right now, we're working. After the lesson's over, we'll talk about your girlfriend. Right now, we're working, you know, because that's the one thing that an artist needs to be able to do. So I'm a huge advocate of education. I don't think anybody becomes who they are without having some good experiences that way. It's my honor to be able to teach them. They come to me with their heart, and I give them mine.